All right, yo, beautiful people. This is Nadir, and we are Games Music Life. Well, I am Games Music Life today. Kev couldn't track Kev down, but I had to get a podcast up just to kind of get my thoughts out about the NFL season, gaming. There's a lot of things that happen, and I kind of just wanted to talk through them. So, you guys, welcome to my simple tech talk this week to kind of talk through some things to get it off my brain. Um, it's beginning to be fall season here in Ohio, and I think this week is the last week. It's going to be warm. So I'm going to enjoy it, get out there. Yesterday it was super hot. Out there watching my son play baseball on a Sunday. Usually I shut it all down, usually on football season on Sundays. My wife, that was one of the things that we agreed upon when we got married. Like, listen, on Sundays, I'm no good to you guys. I'm just watching football. But nonetheless, the kids take over. He had baseballs. I was that dad yesterday streaming the red zone while he was playing his game. I didn't realize I had the daggone volume turned up so loud until probably like the third or fourth inning. And I was like, dang, this is kind of loud. But nonetheless, he won. He had a great time. So that's all that really mattered. And Dad got to see the Cowboys come back and win, which I was rooting against them as I always do. But it was a good game to kind of watch. And I may or may not have cheered a little bit too loud during the game. But like I said, I was that dad yesterday watching. So any dad out there, they can understand. There was a couple of Joe Burrow jerseys in the crowd. And I felt bad for him. I don't think they really knew the dads. Don't think they knew the news, but I'll talk about a little bit about that later on. But that's all that's going on with me. Like I said, I'm gonna track Kev down. He's doing well. But dad life is taking over for him. He's doing his thing. So I'll let him explain when he does come back. But let's start like we always do. What have I been playing? So I've been playing this Hollow Knight Silk Song, and I wasn't gonna play it. I'll be honest. I'm one of those people that FOMO doesn't really get me. But I didn't play the first one that came out a long time ago. And I remember it won a bunch of awards and people were talking about it. So it's $20. I said, let me just go ahead and play it. And the thing I do like about it, or I loved about it before I bought it, was the fact that I could play it on my main gaming rig, but I could also play it on my Steam Deck. So that's always just a good takeaway where I can just sit on the couch, the wife's doing homework or doing something, I can just play, or laying in bed, just play it on my Steam Deck. And I have been having a great time with this game. It's very hard. I didn't think the game, like, it's cutesy. It looks it's appealing to the eye. But I did not know it was going to be this hard going in. And I mean, I beat Black Myth Wukong. I played Elden Ring. So a lot of the Souls-like games, and those are real punishing. This game is real punishing as well. I had to go and watch a couple of videos on, because the currency in it, it's like you do die a lot. But I didn't realize that if you die, you can go back and like where you died at and get your currency back again. So the currency is really hard to come by. So once I realized that, I can go back and get my coins. It didn't make it as punishing. It's like, if I die, I'll just go back and get my coins and kind of fight again. The thing I like about it so far the most is like the boss fights are really good. The traversing is pretty cool. I like how you get abilities as you play the game, but like as the abilities go, it's like you venture other parts of the world, and it's like one world that's like you kind of can go back and one thing I didn't realize too is like you can do one bad jump, and it's designed this way, but I didn't realize it. But you can actually go all the way back to the beginning of the game where because you traverse through the whole map, and it's one map as you go through. But I did realize there's a travel system in there, and I realized how to get back to it. So it's kind of hit or miss as far as what to expect in the game. But again, it's real punishing. It's a real jumping type game. It's Metroid. They call it Metroid like games, which I am not a big Metroid fan. Never really was. I kind of just appreciated Nintendo having an IP that they can kind of go back to, but I never was a Metroid fan. So I didn't get that analogy when people would say it. But as I'm playing it, it does make me kind of understand what they're talking about. Now, will I ever know what the Metroid game they're referring to? Absolutely not. 'Cause I'm not going back and playing those Metroid games. They passed me. I think you had to be there during that time. I didn't do it, so I'm gonna leave it where it's at. But I'm having a good time with it. The game I was looking forward to playing was Borderlands 4, and I thought about pre-ordering it. I've gotten into like really physical media not as of late, but like getting back to physical media. Like a lot of the digital stuff, it's cool and I like it. Don't get me wrong, but I like having the physical part of it. I like being able to loan it to someone else. And like video games, I've always said is one of the best tellers of stories. So being able to like let someone borrow the physical copy and then get it back. Of course, I'm a bad librarian. I'm gonna definitely hawk you down and charge you late fees if you don't give me my game back. I do keep a spreadsheet for people I do let borrow games, and they will get a reminder like, hey, you got my game. But nonetheless, I like that part. But With Borderlands, I was going to get it for PC, so I was only going to have the digital copy. But the reason why I haven't played it yet is just because of all the bad reports of it being not optimized well for PC, crashing, bugs. Um, so that really is upsetting to not be able to play a game that I've been looking forward to. Um, the thing about it is, like with PC gaming is, you spend all this money on your computer, and you want to kind of carve out the time to play the game, and you kind of set time aside to play the game, and to find that it just had poor reviews on Steam because of the bugs, not because the game's not good, because everyone who played it said the game is amazing. It's just the crashes and the poor performance while you're playing it. I put a lot of money into my gaming PC. I don't want to play it and not play the way the way that the devs want the game to be played. So I haven't picked it up as of yet. I got a friend of mine who's actually playing it on the PS5, so I may end up getting a physical copy just to play it on the PS5. But again, I didn't want to do that. But nonetheless, that may just be what's going to happen. I'm not getting FOMO on it. I do have Silk Song to kind of finish, so I have something else to kind of bide my time with that one. But I'm hearing all good things about Borderlands 4. So eventually I'm going to get it, but just as of right now, it's not going nowhere. Just add it to the backlog. I hope time doesn't go by to where it's like one of those things where like you had to be there. But again, I love Borderlands 1 and 2. I didn't pick up 3. I didn't, for some reason, I just didn't get that one. And I'm looking at the reviews and the way people enjoyed it and the way it was socially accepted after the fact. During 3, I'm glad I didn't, because I was like, I just don't want to get it. But the good thing about 4, you did not need to play 1, 2, or 3 to enjoy 4, from what I'm reading and seeing on the reviews. So I'm going to pick it up at some point and actually hopefully enjoy it. Nintendo had a direct that came out. I talked to Jay and Kev, and we kind of were talking while it was going on. Jay was a little bit more as far as excited about it than I was. I thought, for one thing, I'm trying to get over on the remakes that are coming out for Nintendo, and it actually, like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. That's the one that kind of stood out to me. And I was like, all right, this is one I didn't beat Galaxy 2 on the Wii. I think it was on. Because I don't know, just time went by or something else was going on. So I was excited about picking up this 1 and 2 bundle that's going to come out for the Switch 2. But I was like, they're charging full price for this, man. This game has been out already. So I do think that Nintendo needs to rethink that. Maybe charging $49.99 for it. I'd pick it up then. But I say all that to say, I'm still going to probably buy the stupid thing. Nintendo has a hold on me, and I've accepted it. I'm subscribed to that narcotic. There's nothing I can do to get off it. So I am probably going to pick that game up, but I'm not as excited about it. I wanted to see more. Let me say that. I wanted to see more. The flower toy that they announced, bought. I'm getting that. It's going on my desk. Mario Wonder was one of my favorite games last year. And because of the new environment that you were in, and then also that flower that was on the game that would just talk to you from time to time and say the little like cheeky things when it's like it was funny. It'd be, anime sweat beat moments that are going on, and I'm stressing playing the game, and he would say something funny, and I would just laugh during it. But nonetheless, that little toy that was announced, I'm buying that. That's going to be on my desk. And then the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, I think it was called, that looked good. I'm a sucker for Yoshi games. My sister, one of my younger sisters, let me say that, she was never a big gamer, but one thing that we played the Yoshi's game on the Super Nintendo together, and she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And we had a good time playing that. So I'm any Yoshi game always has a soft spot in me for that. So I'm going to pick that one up. But yeah, the previous games that were having the upgrades to the Switch 2, I was like, okay. I mean, it's kind of a lot of the same. The people that want it, like Jay was really excited about the tennis. And I was like, I get it. Like it's feeding some people for it, but it's just not feeding me. And that's the part that gets me. One thing I wanted them to feed me, was Animal Crossing, man. What is Nintendo waiting on? If you see this podcast, release a new Animal Crossing. My daughter, she has started over her island 3 times on the Switch, and she is enjoying it, loving it. She still watches the Animal Crossing videos. I keep saying when to dive back into it. I keep kind of trying to force that onto my teammates at work to get us back into Animal Crossing, only because it was a fun time for me. And then also it was during COVID, so everyone was playing it. I think once people figured out that you can go to other islands and sell your bells and get a whole bunch of bells for kind of like, the pseudo stock market that was in the game, it kind of broke the game, I think, because I still have a ton of bells. And I don't know if Nintendo was designing that to be that way. I think it was something that just kind of happened. But nonetheless, it was something that it was kind of like a cult following. Everyone loved it. It was something to play during COVID. You couldn't go outside. So it was fun for everyone to play it. I think that they left a lot of food on the table with not adding on to it. Like they added on the expansion pass that came out for it, but it didn't really add a lot to it. It's maybe like an hour worth of content. So once you got all the flowers and you got all the hybrids and everything, all the paintings, it was like, all right, what else am I gonna do? I got all the fossils. So what else can I do? Add some more events. So I do think Nintendo needs to like put the dev team on it, assign a team to that. If you're not gonna give us a new one, just add on to the old one. And I'll even pay the little $20 upgrade fee if you do it for the Switch too. Not saying there's anything graphically that needs to be enhanced on Animal Crossing, but I think that there's a lot on it that you can actually still get off of that game and that people will still play it. I'll say that. But that's really it. Gaming news. There's a lot going on. Let me say there's a lot of good games to play, a lot of things to be excited about. The topic of game of the year still kind of been a thing. My game of the year still Claire Obscure. Expedition 33 is still my game of the year. Death Stranding 2 had a good run for me. It was a great game. You got Ghost of Yotai coming out. And I know I'm blanking on a lot of other games that have come out this year that's been pretty good. But I'm looking forward to playing that one. But it's been a good year in gaming. I will say that. I've had a lot of good, fun with it. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Kev says when he comes back. I know he's been busy with the baby and everything, so I know his list is a lot different than mine. I still think he'll probably still say Death Stranding is his game of the year, but hey, we'll talk about it when he gets back. All right. So as far as sports wise, I mean, it's the NFL season. We haven't potted since the big trade happened with Micah Parsons going to the Green Bay Packers. I thought it was dumb. Looking more into it, the way that because we're now in week 2. Looking at the way that the Cowboys are winning, they're 1-1. Not rewind a little bit because the Eagles went ahead and tucked them in on week 1. I'll give you this. Talk about week 1 Eagles versus Cowboys. The Cowboys looked all right. Dak looked pretty good. CD had some big drops, which was one of the reasons why I think they lost. The Eagles have become kind of the standard of the NFL as far as when it comes to winning. They like, I don't think that they ever get too down on themselves. They're like, we're going to figure out a way to win. And any good team, you kind of want that to happen. But back to the trade, Green Bay's looking good, man. Green Bay's looking good. They're 2-0. They won this past Thursday. Micah Parsons is out there looking good. It's mysterious how his back is now healed up. Now that he got a $180 million cushion to put behind his back to, feel better about that. But, nonetheless, man, they look good. Jordan Love, I've always liked his game. So I think Green Bay, Detroit's still up there. It's going to be a really good thing to kind of watch. But I think that trade, I don't know. Time will tell if it was a good trade for both sides. Early on, I think it's good for Green Bay. I don't know how it's going to be for Dallas. But like I always say about Dallas, man, look, as long as they're in the green at the end of the year, Jerry don't care. And he's fooled you fans to believe that, you have a chance every year, which I do think on paper you have a decent team to win. But Jerry don't care about that. As long as they're in the green at the end of the year, that's all that matters to him. It costs money to win championships. Shout out to my barber. He's always said that. And it does cost money to win championships. And Jerry's not spending that. He knew it was going to cost the coin to keep Micah. We'll just trade him. We'll be okay. And, like I said, time will tell to see how it's going to work out for both teams. But nonetheless, man, he don't care about winning. Like, championships is not it. He puts butts in seats. He's created. Look at Jerry World. It's not, it's like he's there to make money. And I get it. All ownership is there to make money, but it costs money to win a championship. And I don't think Jerry's going to spend that money. So I'll be lying if I tell you the Cowboys keeping y'all down what makes me happy. It does. It makes me very happy. So I love it. But speaking more on week 2, yesterday we had some pretty big games. Like I said, the Giants and the Cowboys game was a crazy game. The fourth quarter, I think it had like 34 points scored in the fourth quarter. And, the Giants found a way to lose. It was Russell Wilson. We thought he was washed. He came and played a decent game, shredded that defense of Dallas. But nonetheless, Dallas found a way to win it at the end. That kicker, I want him tested for drugs. Okay, I want him tested because he hit a 65-yard field goal and he probably had room to kick it 70 yards. Something's off. I want a random drug test for him because I don't think that that's legal. But I digress. So it started off the week, Packers and the Commanders. Packers, like I said, they beat the Commanders. I don't know what's up with Jaden Daniels and the Packers of the Redskins, or I had the Redskins, the Commanders as of yet. I don't know what is up with them, if they're going to be good or not. It's always year 2 of a quarterback. I always say that, now that we have tape on the player, we'll see how good he's going to be. Browns and Ravens, nothing to talk about. The Browns got bludgeoned. Jaguars and the Bengals. what was the man's name? The quarterback for Trevor Lawrence. He was arguing with his coach. Him and his coach was visibly beefing on the sideline, and he waved him off. I thought that was funny. But the biggest news from that one was Joe Burrow got hurt. He's out 3 months. Turf toe. What is turf toe? It's like a broken foot, broken toe. I'm not sure. I mean, it's serious. Whenever a player gets turf toe, they always talk about it a lot. So this one's going to put him back. The Bengals, man. Listen, I'm around a lot of Bengal fans, and I like Joe Burrow. Because they're right up the road. I haven't been to any games, but I recognize that they're a good team, but they're only going to be as good as Joe Burrow can take them. So if you're wasting these Joe Burrow years. Last year he got hurt, or didn't get hurt. Last year they didn't win, and he had an amazing year last year. So like, shore up that offensive line, shore up that defense a little bit more, but you're wasting these good years. And I don't know, the window in football closes so quick. And I fear that this might be it. You put a lot of money into those receivers. And I get it that T. Higgins is a freak of nature and Jamar Chase is generational, but I don't know. I don't know what to put on it. Let Bengal fans tell it. They're not that well ran of an organization. So I'll digress to somebody that's a Bengal fan. You want to get in the comments to give me more information, but nonetheless, Joe Burrow's out for 3 months. Pretty much the season's over, but the thing is they're 2-0. They could make some noise. They could make something happen, but we all know that team is only going to go the speed of Joe Burrow can take them. So I forget what the backup quarterback's name is. Like I said, I'm not a Bengal fan, so I don't care. I forget his name, but how good he is, I don't think he has enough to take him over to the top and get him there. But especially their defense has their deficiencies. And then the Bears and Lions, my gosh, listen, the Lions just scored again while I'm talking. The game was yesterday, but they just scored again. All right. I think they dropped 100 on them. 52-21. And then Caleb Williams, the mechanics, listen, you're not in college anymore. You can't throw across your body and, just I get it. He was trying to make a play. He threw it into quadruple coverage. I think he threw it to like 5 people in the Lions game. And one of them interceptions, he was trying to make a play. And I get it. He's trying to make something happen, but clearly there's something going on in that organization or on that team. They got a new coach. So I figured that they fired, was it Uberfleece or somewhere his name is? They fired him and thought that bringing in a new person, new blood would actually right the ship and they would have a better thing. And that's the beauty of the NFL. It's like every team feels like you have a chance going in at the beginning of the year. And that's the beauty of it. And it takes usually like week 2 or 3, but Cowboy fans usually last about 3 or 4, week 4. That's when y'all realize it's over. But nonetheless, like that's the beauty of football. But the Bears, it doesn't look good. It does not look good, man. The Patriots and the Dolphins, I mean, is Tua good? Is Tua good? I mean, I asked that, like, I was calling for Tua to sit down a long time ago when he was out there getting hit and getting concussions and, his hands was doing things that shouldn't be doing. So Tyreek Hill, him and Tyreek seem like they're not on the same page. The rumors is that, Tyreek is going to get traded. I don't know. I could see Tyreek going back to Kansas City. They need to get on the phone, get on a Zoom call and make that happen, because right now, Kansas City could use a weapon. Sheree Rice is his name, I think, got suspended the first 6 games. Worthy got injured the first week, the first like couple plays of the game in week 1. So I don't know, but like I said, the Dolphins are 0-2. The Patriots are 1-1. They could be a scary team. They're a young team too. They could be good. 49ers and Saints, they played. Listen, Rattler couldn't get it done. Kev, I'm sorry. Your team is 0-2. But you knew it was a rebuilding year. You're optimistic knowing that it's going to be, a bad year for you guys. But the 49ers, without Brock Purdy, they won. They're now 2-0. The Bills, I think Josh Allen might have thrown the ball like 5 times. Cook went off yesterday. Thank you, Cook. You're in my fantasy league. I got you in there. And they won 30-10. The Jets are 0-2. The Bills are 2-0. What's my man's name? Justin Fields is in concussion protocol. Listen, I was one of which I don't know. I was on the fence as far as wondering if Justin Fields is good at football. And I want to give every quarterback, or every black quarterback a chance, or every quarterback for that matter, a chance. But especially the black quarterbacks because of the things that we had against us over the years. Although we started 16 black quarterbacks in the league this year, dope. But Justin Fields, I don't know if you're good. And I'm on the fence, and I want to say that I want you to succeed. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not sure if he's good at throwing the football and getting teams in a good position to win. And some of it is the Jets, man. The Jets have just been bad. So I don't know if maybe that's it. They got is it Aaron Glenn is the coach there now? I think, yeah, Aaron Glenn is the coach. So I'm rooting for him to do well, but they're 0-2, and as I just said earlier, NFL season comes at you very fast. They were optimistic and thinking they could do some things, but heck, they're only 0-2. They could turn the ship around quickly. The Steelers and the Seahawks, listen, I don't know what's up with the Steelers. You know, on paper, they have everything. They have Aaron Rodgers, and he owned the loss yesterday, but it was some big mistakes. I mean, it was a kickoff, and where the kickoff team recovered it for a touchdown. And I guess the receiving guy didn't know that was a live ball as long as it stayed in bounds. Listen, that was news to me, because when they recovered it and they put the ref put the things in the air for touchdown, I'm like, man, I was on the same fence as the guy on the returner. Like, what's up? I thought the play was dead once I walk away or something. So that was one of the freakish plays that happened. Aaron Rodgers had a pick in the end zone. They could have had points. So it was like a turnaround of being maybe tying it up or being close within 7 to now down 14. That's a big turnaround. So they couldn't recover from that. Rams Titans, the Rams 33, the Titans 19. What's the rookie there? Cam Ward. He looked okay, threw across his body, got a nice touchdown. I was like, man, he might be him. And then the Rams just proceeded to oppose their will on him and win the game. So that game was over. Panthers and Cardinals, nothing to see here. I don't even think I watched 1 second of that game. Even in red zone, I kind of just sped past it. And then the Broncos and the Colts. That was a weird game the way it ended. I'll let this sink in. Daniel Jones is 2-0. He's 2-0 as a quarterback. Now, I know they're running the ball and they're getting a lot of stuff from Jonathan Taylor, but Danny Dimes is 2-0, man. So maybe a new change of scenery for him being there is a good thing for him. He's smiling again, which is great for him. The Falcons and the Vikings played last night. Look, I don't know how long they're going to coddle McCarthy. He didn't look good, and I get you got that Lamborghini over there and Justin Jefferson and you have other weapons that you can throw to, but he didn't look good in week 2, and he didn't look good in week 1. He put together a pretty decent second half, and they came back and won. And that was against the Bears, the team I just talked about earlier in this podcast. That they're not good. So McCarthy, I don't know if they're going to how they're going to coddle him or how they're going to get past some of the things that they're doing right now in order to keep this season going. When they're 1-1, they lost to the Falcons, but the Falcons kicked a bunch of field goals, which, if the Falcons could have turned those into touchdowns, that would have been a severe blowout. I mean, mind you, it's 22-6 at the end of the game. But again, I think that the Falcons might have started the game with 4 field goals in a row. So I don't know how much they're going to, how much stock they have in that. So the big game yesterday was the Eagles and the Chiefs, which is why I was streaming the games yesterday at my son's baseball game. But watching it, it was the Eagles. Listen, the offense is still has its deficiencies, and I was like, man, what's going on with some of this stuff? And Spagnoli, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, ex-Eagle defensive coordinator, was sending the hounds at Jalen Hurts. I mean, I'm talking about everybody blitzed. I might have blitzed. And Jalen found, receiver. I think he threw a couple jump balls up for Deshaun. I keep wanting to call him the guy Deshaun Jackson. The skinny receiver. I'm sorry, Devontae Smith. And he caught one, which we got a touchdown on. But it was a lot of just trying to dinking and dunking, and we didn't get a lot of yards. I'm okay with that. Again, that's what I think I'm loving about the Eagles is the fact that, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we got our championship last year, but they're finding ways of winning, and they're being sort of the standard when it comes to football, a way an organization should be run. So I'm happy about that. One thing I took away from that, though, listen, the tush push is 100% getting banned this offseason. All right, it's 100% getting banned, and not to mention just the false starting that happened, not to mention that it's a rugby play. So I mean, I say it with tongue in cheek because I'm happy about it because it got my team the win last year, and we've been winning a lot as of late. But I think that the way that it was used last year, for instance, when we threw that pass to Dotson in the Super Bowl, and we got to the 1 yard line, tush push, I'm okay with that. But when it comes to it's 3rd and 2, or anytime that we just need 2 yards, and I don't care if it's 3rd down or 4th down or 3rd down, I should say, we're going to run it 2 times in a row, and you can't stop it that much. And I think the Chiefs do a decent job of stopping it. But I don't know if it's just the makeup of who we have, the quarterback, the running back. I mean, the fact that they squat all those pounds, or the offensive line is used to running it, because other teams have tried to run this play. They haven't had the same success as the Eagles have. But I do think that that play's 100% getting banned this offseason. I don't really think that it's even going to be a thing. And I think last year, I think it was the Saints was the team holding the torch, saying they should have been banned. I think there's gonna be a lot of teams that's going to say that this year. The Chiefs, of all people, you should not say a daggone thing, because y'all have had the refs in your back pocket for years. So let's stop it. Y'all got some calls yesterday. Third down. roughing the passer, and it's like literally the same exact play happened 2 plays later on second down. They didn't call it. Stay consistent, refs. Like I'm not trying to hear all that. Y'all get all the calls, man. But yeah, Tush Push is 100% getting banned. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. So going to Cavs, Buckeyes, they're ranked number 1. College football is doing all right. Clemson is struggling. The Buckeyes, who they play? OU. So they haven't still played nobody. They played the first game was Texas. I give them that. They played a good game there. But they're 3-0. They struggled a little bit with OU, but nonetheless, again, it's about how you win. And this year being the playoffs, there's going to be more teams in the playoffs. So as long as they get in the playoffs, I think they're going to be a tough team to beat out. They're again a well-run organization. They have all the money invested into their team, being the Buckeyes, which is weird. This NIL thing is still odd that so many college teams have so much money invested, and it's like, okay, does it mean that the teams that have the most money are going to be the best, the most successful? It's hard to really say. But nonetheless, Buckeyes are ranked number 1. Kudos to them. We'll see how it goes. Season's still early, but college football's still rolling. So going to like this hip hop, we're talking about hip hop a little bit. Freddie Gibbs said, talking about Chat GPT being in rap. So listen, I'm in tech. So chat the any type of technology comes about, it perks my ears up to kind of hear and talk about it. And sometimes, like even when I was like on my own time, I do a little coding projects. And I'm trying to create an app, just playing around, trying to keep my tools sharp. And I use ChatGPT for some of that, where like sometimes it'll write some of the code for me. I do understand it, so I can implement it and understand what's going on. That way, if and when it does break, I can fix it. But when you're talking about like ChatGPT and rap music, and Freddie Gibbs said it during his interview, it's like it makes me wonder, like, what is written, what is not. I remember when the Drake and Kendrick beef was going on, and it was like, okay, is this AI? Is this really, the person making the music? It brings up a topic where nothing is off the table. You don't know what you're watching, as far as is this really the person? Is this AI? What you're hearing, is this the person? Is this AI? And it brings up a conversational piece of like, unless I see the person in my face without the hologram, they're making the music. Is that really them? Is that their thoughts? And before, I think it was like, ghostwriting, and that was a thing, and now it's more so like, is this AI generated? So it brings up a topic to where you kind of talk through it as the listener, as the fan, because we're just fans of music. And it's like, how do you feel about it? I think we gave, Drake a pass with the ghostwriting. It didn't matter. He performed it that well. I held his feet to the fire a little bit more than some, because I'm like, okay, if these are not his words, these are not his thoughts, then why should I give him credit just because he can perform it? People let it go. They didn't care. I wonder if people are going to have that same thought for AI, So I don't know. It's a good conversational piece. I'm interested to see what people think about it. But nonetheless, Freddie Gibbs said it. He's in the business, so I assume that he, it's true. And I wonder, what do people think about that? So Drake, speaking of him, he did have the Iceman 3 stream. Listen, it was probably the most hour and a half waste of time I might have been a part of, because the game was going on. This was actually during week 1 of the Eagles game, and they had the lightning delay. So the game had like an hour and a half where it wasn't doing anything, and I ended up just keeping the stream going. So I watched it, and it's almost in its entirety, I had it playing in the background as I was doing something else and watching the game. My ADHD was kicking in, so I had a lot of things going on. But nonetheless, I got to the end of it. I'm like, what is this? Like, I didn't like a lot of the music. Some of the beats and stuff was okay. I thought they were good, but I didn't get why, what was going on. And I think that this whole thing with streaming, and like a lot of the streamers are partnering with the music people. And I get that the streamers have a lot of eyes, and it brings the audience, and you're casting a wide net to get more people for your content. But I'm not sure exactly what's going on. And with Iceman, like, I don't know, is he doing, like, even now, like today, there was a thing came out where he had the leak supposedly of the song with him talking about LeBron and DeRozan. And it's like, I can't think that Drake's camp will be letting this stuff get out. Like, none of the stuff that's come out for Iceman has been good. Besides, what did I miss? I like What Did I Miss? But everything else has been like, all right, where are we going with this, man? And like, you got the lawsuit going on. It's a lot of things in the air as far as what is the direction. I think that's the better way of putting it. Like, what is the direction that's going on? And my theory, I think that he's looking at the public perception of it, and Iceman is just not doing like he thought it was going to do. Triple S came out with him in Party Next Door, and I think it was well received, but it still didn't stick the way it did. And I don't like the Drake. To me, it seems like he's comparing himself to other people's waves. Like, you look at Kendrick has been on a nonstop run, not just with Not Like Us, but GNX, which doesn't have Not Like Us on it, but he's put out other music. He's on the feature with the Clips. He's did the thing with Playboy Cardi, which was a side quest for him. And it's been a lot of, a lot of music come out for him. I don't think that Drake, to me, it sounds like he's trying to compare himself to that or trying to recapture the of what he had before. So I don't know if that's what he's trying to do, but the music just hasn't been good, man. And I don't know. Like I was one of those people that I was hip to Drake a long time ago, and So Far Gone was one of my favorite projects while it was coming out. And I just so I had a soft spot for him, but now I don't know what exactly is going on, and can he recapture that feeling of what most people had from him? It's not, because I know he alludes to it like, oh, you want the old Drake back. It's not that we want you to sound the same. It's just make good music, man. I've always said that from get go. Like, just make good music and just leave the battle alone. Just leave that alone. That was a chapter. Just like when you win some, you lose some. When against Meek, you kind of let it go. You got on a feature with Meek, but I think this battle was a bit different. I agree with that. But if he can move on from it, and especially the lawsuit thing, and maybe he can't move on from it, I don't know. I don't want to say that I think it's over. I've been like, every podcast we'll kind of talk about it a little bit and see if Drake is done. I don't think he's done, but I do think that it's going to be hard for him to recapture the people's ear, because even when stuff comes and goes, and I think that some of it is not just a Drake thing. I think some of it is just musically. Some stuff just comes and goes, man. People just listen to it and then it's out of there. So I don't know, but Iceman 3, that wasn't it. I will say that. Young Thug, he had his interview. It was funny to me, man. I'm not gonna lie. I watched it, the whoop-de-doo. Like I might have used whoop-de-doo more that week than ever before, because it was just funny, But as far as him like defending himself and talking about the jail calls, because the jail calls it was not a good look. And it was hard to, kind of come back and kind of make defense of it. But he owned it. He talked about it, and he kind of alluded to other things, and he kind of talked more. He seems like he's just really hurt. And I get it. These are friends that you had, and, in the industry, and Gunna's still your act. And that's still somebody that I think he still considers as a friend, because it sounds like he's still hurt over that. Then he releases a song. He, talked about everyone as far as his relationships with everybody. And listen, I get it. I'm a person who understands relationships. I understand how they can hurt your feelings. I can understand how you could want to kind of defend yourself, or not so much defend yourself, protect yourself from relationships sometimes, because they can potentially hurt you. So I'm one of which I understand that wholeheartedly. But, as far as him giving music, I think it was good. I liked the song, but again, I don't know afterwards, now that the damage has been done, can he rebound from that? Can it be more from that? I'm not sure. That's something that only time can tell. And the internet's a fickle place. I will say this: if I had to give any advice to Young Thug, is quit trying to win over the internet. Listen, you're gonna have some people who agree with you, and you have some people that's not. If you happen to watch a video on Twitter of people that don't agree with you, guess what? Your algorithm is going to feed other people that don't agree with you, and vice versa. If you find a video of people that do agree, you're going to have it. So it's a good mixture of this. Just make the music. Stay off the internet, man. The social media is just a weird place. I left it a long time ago. Twitter's the only one I have, so I can buy sneakers, but that's it. So I would say that if I had to give any advice to Young Thug, that'd be that. But as far as if he can come back, it's when he's trying to get the Atlanta guys back together, and I like it. But music is just in a weird place, man. I will say that. Although, hip hop is still there, man. Like, I mean, we've had some great hip hop albums come out this year, but the microwavable music, that's what I would say. The microwavable music that I was never really a fan of or on that wave, it seems like they're struggling, and it's hard to recapture that. So I don't know if they maybe need to cook up, maybe put more into it. Because like, we started this podcast, Games Music Life, on reviewing music, talking about music. We enjoy the conversation. And I always give Kev pushback on this. But when Drake put out, he's putting a lot of this microwavable music out where it seemed like it was easy and it was catchy and everyone liked it. And I knew once I would run into people I knew weren't really hip hop fans. Oh man, I love rap. And they would say, I love this Drake song. I'm like, that's when I started like kind of like not crapping on Drake, but like trying to point out the fact that that's really not, in my opinion, the hip hop that maybe it needs to be subgenres of hip hop, just like there's subgenres of rock. I think that might be what needs to happen. But nonetheless, once that started happening, I felt like, it's going to be hard to, if it ever turned, because for the longest it was there. Like, it was like, okay, you make this song with Drake. He was the golden goose. This catchy music, other Drake clones that had music that came out and it sounded like Drake, and people loved it and they rocked with it. But then once the battle happened and there was a big, not a chink in armor, there was a big thing that happened to where it was plenty like, oh wow, no, this really isn't really hip hop, or this isn't really good. He's not saying anything. Oh, what is that? And then that is what didn't make it cool. And that's why I think Drake's having a hard time coming back. And I think that's why a lot of the people that were clones like Drake are having a hard time coming back and making good music or making acceptable music for everyone to kind of listen to. So that's where it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough for people. So I don't know how that's going to happen. But nonetheless, listen, I just wanted to hop on and talk for a little bit, get these thoughts out. And I know it's been a while since we podcasted, so I wanted to kind of get some art out and kind of get people to kind of talk and get back and engage with us and say what's up to Kev in the comments, though. But listen, I am Nadir. This was the Game Music Life podcast, episode 379. As always, drink more water, people. Peace.